Hello, good afternoon. We are just concluded our big days of the liberation of the previous Rebbe, Yud Beis Tammuz, Yud Gimel Tammuz. We'll go back to our Parsha, even though there could be a lot of stuff in this Parsha also connected to the liberation. But we spoke about it last week. This week, let's talk about this week's Parsha, just for a short moment. So this week's Parsha, we're learning about the story of the king of the Moabites. His name was Balak, as we know, the grandfather of Ruth, famous Ruth, the grandmother of David HaMelech. And the Jews were surrounding him. He was getting nervous that they're going to come fight him and make a war with him and destroy him. So in order to save himself and save his nation, he sends a message to the famous prophet in that time, a not-Jewish prophet. His name was Yonah Ben Dovid, that he should come help him to remove the Jews from him. Bilam had the power of his mouth, the power of a prophet. He can bless and he can do the opposite of blessing. So with his power of doing the opposite of blessing to the Jewish nation, this is how he will succeed against the Jews. And this comes the famous story, the famous question, that we learn that he sent messengers to Bilam and he says, I'm very, very frightened by these people, that what they will do to me, especially what they did to the other two nations right before. I need your help. And a simple answer Bilam should have given to Balak, as being a prophet, he knows everything. He should have told Balak, you have nothing to be afraid of. The Jews will not siege a war against you. And the reason is because the Almighty God told him a prohibition. They cannot fight you. They cannot have a war against you. They could have just said that to him. Would he answer this to Balak? Balak would become, everything would be good. Would not be any situation, the whole Parsha wouldn't really exist. Because as we learn, Balak was just very scared of the Jews. As soon as he would tell him it's not to be scared of, he would be okay. Why didn't Bilam say so? An explanation is, Bilam was a man that hated Jews in a passion, but for no reason. He just hated. And by him, when he got opportunity from Balak, by his messengers, come do the opposite of blessing to Jews, he was so excited, let's do it. Maybe I will succeed. When this is why Rashi says that Bilam hated the Jews much more than Balak. Balak hated the Jews just because he was frightened, he was scared, he was nervous. But would it be okay would it be known to him that everything is okay? He would step back. Bilam hated Jews just for the sake of hating Jews. And this is why he came to do as we say the word, the curses to the Jews, just because he hated Jews for no reason. But as we know, God said to us in the Torah, Vayapoch Hashem, God turned around the curses of Bilam to blessings. As we'll read this whole Parsha, that Bilam gave the greatest beautiful blessings to Am Yisrael, especially all this blessing in the prophecies about Mashiach coming. It's in this week's Parsha said by Bilam. God turned it around. It became the greatest blessings. Why? Because by him, he wanted to give the real opposite of blessings. The real passion of cursing and doing the worst he can just because of hate. God turned it around. But in this idea, we see something so beautiful. Him, by when he wanted to do his negative, was doing his negative, cursing without any real reason, just because of hate, as we said before. When God turns it around, it's the same idea. It turns it around, that the love that God has to us becomes a love with no reason. As we know, when a love, the Gemara tells us, when a love is based on a reason, the love is not so strong. But when the love is with no reason, just because I love you, it's unlimited. And this is the idea that Hashem turns it around. That his hate was for no reason. Hashem turned it around. That the love is for no reason. And this is why a beautiful we see from this prophecy of this week of Balak, we have all the beautiful blessing of Mashiach. Because as we know, the all beautiful idea of Mashiach coming in Mitzvah Hashem today is going to be above reasoning, above explanation. As the Rambam himself says, we will not be able to understand it until Mashiach himself comes and explains it to us. And this is the idea Mashiach is coming by Esech HaDas. It's above Das, above knowledge, above understanding. And this is what Hashem gives it through the mouth of Bilam. You wanted to say negative to them with no sense, just because you hate. Turn it around. You'll be saying the greatest positive, the greatest love to the Jews that Hashem has to them. And this is Mashiach, that this is the love to Jews without any explanation. We don't understand that it's going to work. He had to say it. So the beautiful point that we're learning from this Parsha is really the Parsha is so beautiful because in this Parsha we see the love to God, from God to us, above understanding, above knowledge, above everything, just because He loves us. And this is why He's going to bring us Mashiach, just because He loves us. Let's, for the few minutes before Mashiach comes, us too get ready. And how are we going to get ready for Mashiach? Let's all be the same. Love someone else just because you love him. We don't need reasons. On this Hashem will give us the same thing. The Mashiach, the bracha that we'll have in this Parsha. The love, as we call it, blind love with no reason. Have yourself all a good Shabbos, a good Farbrengen, and we'll talk soon.